I do, before I go through all the trouble of taking everything else off, let's compare lengths. What's up? I think we're on day I don't know what. We're finishing up this Ford Ranchero. Now it's at the shop on the lift, so we got all the suspension parts we need to replace. So we're gonna start working that. I'm gonna start with probably the emergency brake and the lower control arms. Let me show you. I think that'll hold my weight. So we got an e-brake cable. Ordered that thing off of actually Amazon. I'm hoping this is the right one. It looks extremely similar. There's nothing in that box. Then I think this is gonna be our upper ball joints. Yes. So we have some upper ball joints. These, I double checked it and I'm hoping I'm still right, is the 3-bolt style ones. Either you have 4 or 3. Check, this one's 3. So 2 of those, and then because that lower control arm, one of them was booger welded together, definitely my welds are better than that and they're not that great. We just ordered all new control arms because I think when you get into these old cars, a lot of people realize like the fully assembled with the ball joints, the new bushings and everything is just cheaper and easier. I mean, you might save 20 bucks ordering each part and rebuilding the control arm, but truthfully, this is just gonna bolt in and unbolt the old one and we're gonna be done with it. So that's gonna make this job a lot quicker and easier, and I'm pretty sure this is the right one. So we will find out when we get underneath there. But yeah, I'm gonna start with this e-brake cable. That way, if it doesn't fit, I can get it returned and order the new one. And I gotta search for a bigger spring because there is no return spring for it. So we're gonna be trying to figure that out. So I'm gonna lift this thing up and start messing with the emergency brake. Looking at this e-brake cable, we got it running through. It's gonna be hard to see because it's all black and gross, but I'm gonna bring the light over here. And this cable, I do believe, is just broken somewhere in the thing because you go to pull it and nothing happens. So I gotta figure out how to snake it out. And of course, I wore a light pink hat, if you couldn't tell. So I turned it inside out so I didn't get it all dirty because my head's just gonna be touching the bottom of this car. We're gonna start from the back and work our way forward. There goes our cable. Clip there, pull it out, and then feed it through the frame and then up into the cab. So I'm gonna grab some pliers and start pulling things out. Jeez. Don't think you're gonna need to save the clips because it looks like the bag had new ones in it. But I'm gonna have to remember to feed it through these holes. And now we're gonna push it out there. Of taking the wheel off, but I don't think I'll need to. This isn't as hard as I thought it was going to be today. All right, there's our cable now. So we'll lower it back down, get underneath to see where it's attached to that handle, and then we'll snake that part back through and all the way back to our bracketry. So this might go pretty quickly, hopefully. So I'm gonna jump underneath here. There's probably not gonna be much to see because it's a super tight fit. But I'm gonna do my best to see what I can do. Okay, so we're gonna jump down into here, and is where our cable comes up and through. It is clearly broken right at the top of this little piece, and it bolts in right there. And then this has 2 bolts on the outside that hold the whole lever in, and then also including 2 screws right there. So I think what I'm going to do is just take all of it apart, start with that cable, get that unbolted, get these screws undone, then go on the wheel well and take those nuts off and pull the whole lever out, because it looks like it's going to be hard to feed the new cable into whatever it gets held into by the lever itself. So we'll just start with those and then get that out. All right, so this bracket came off real quick, and the e-brake cable just dropped right out. Okay, good. I was worried these screws were not going to want to play. 1 and 2. Get the whole lever out. And now let's jump on the outside. Take these 2 off, because that's where the cable went, and you could see it's now on the ground. But you know what I want to do before I go through all the trouble of taking everything else off? Let's compare lengths. And I was honestly very surprised to find this on Amazon. That's why I'm going to verify it is what we want. But sometimes it's not always right. But so far everything is looking the same. This one has a couple extra like chafing sleeves, but it was the easiest one to find. Oh, I need this. Don't want to lose that clip. It was like the quickest and easiest one I could find, and it had all the reviews saying it fit. So okay, so it's looking like that end is roughly the same on there, same with this end, and it is the same length. I got a little nervous, not gonna lie. This is for the inside where it goes up into the car, and then that little bracket that I have is going to go around it and hold it on this little sleeve shoulder thing. So that's perfect. You can see where it's broken. And then this side just pops through that hole, and we put our clip in there and it'll hold it. So cool. The Amazon one was the right one. We'll just make sure these like chafing guards go in the right spots, which I think this one's whatever. Sweet, so that's good. Let's get the rest of our lever out now that we know we do have the right part, because that would suck to do all that work and not have the right part, because that's just not fun. So down in here there is just 2 nuts holding that bracket through the firewall, and thankfully this is a New Mexico car, because I can imagine this getting completely rusted out, being it's in the wheel well. Whew, that nut came out. Definitely felt like it was going to strip at any minute. All right, so there's 2 nuts right there. Now we can jump back inside and pull it out. So now that with all those out, this should just kind of it's stuck on the carpet. There we go. Look, oh, there it is. There's our lever. Not too bad for a couple bolts. Came out pretty easy. It's going like this. The cable runs up through this pulley, and so that is what I need to figure out how, because the cable in here broke right on the inside. There's this pin here. That's what keeps it from spinning. You know, you rotate, turn that, push it. Anyways, that, if we take that out, we could then spin this whole thing, and I can show you what I think I know what to do. Pull that out for our little pulley. That makes sense too, because now we're going to be able to feed the cable through, and let me show you. Pull that out. Now we just have to, you can't push this all the way down, but you just come in here, lift up that little locker right there, And then you push the pole all the way back, and there is our ball. So that should actually just, that's satisfying. Cool. Now I'm pretty positive I could feed this all the way through that hole. So I'm gonna assemble it out here. And that's just gonna be basically very simple, putting the ball inside the slot, like so. Putting our pulley back in. Actually pull this back a little, there it goes. And then we put the cable in the pulley, put the pulley through the cable, put our pin back in. Grab our cotter key, whatever you want to call it. Locked in, and there we go. That's nice. So now, whoop, that part is done. So we could slip this back into the car and then feed the rest through. Wow, not too hard. That was pretty easy once I looked and saw what I was doing. You could see where it failed right there. Oh yeah, this is what I was talking about when it comes to this part here. So this little bracket has a notch in it, and it should, yeah, and it fits right over that to hold it. So that's good. That also fits. So this is not too bad for an Amazon purchase, which I have found that sometimes they are actually the same companies that you buy other stuff from. They just are selling it on Amazon. Let me see if I can get these two down in here. Yeah, they work, okay. Our little chafing thingies were a little more harder to get in than I thought. Not too bad though. So we'll do this. We'll do that. I'm gonna go on the inside. Actually, I could just put this in those holes. We'll work on. Boom. Falls into place. Now, let's start these little Phillips. Alright, Phillips are in. Now, we just need to push that bracket. Actually, can I just... Okay, that's gonna go there. And I'm gonna try to get that bracket through this part, and then that needs to bend. There we go. Okay. See. Okay, that's all in there, just held in loosely, and putting that bracket onto paint, because you have to really bend that cable back, but we got it in, and we got our Phillips temporary. So I'm gonna jump on the outside and I'm just gonna get this bolted down real quick, and then get that bolted down. But that's it. There you go. I'm gonna get everything tightened, and then we'll jump underneath and let's start running it back to the thing, and hopefully it all connects right. Now it's back in the air. You can see where I have it drop down at, and now you can get a good idea. Those are those nuts. Those are those bolts. They're like a sheet metal nut bolt, but whatever. Holding it. There's also some screws, but here's our cable. It's ready to be fed through the frame, which was right through here. I'm gonna hold on to my little clip. I don't want to lose it, but we gotta snake it through. And then I do believe these are for each side. The other one was just one big one, because there's nothing else that this will feed through. So, oh my gosh, and it's gonna go through there. Yeah, that'll do it. And then it goes through this hole right there, but I can't seem to get this rubber piece out of here. The other one isn't long enough to fit both sides. Yeah, the old one only had those blocked and they were too small, so we're just gonna leave them right here on the frame side because this isn't gonna be that square of an area. We're just gonna come in here, get our clip. I'm just gonna get some pliers because it's hard to push these things into place. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. There it is. That'll hold it. Or it won't, I don't know. Actually, there we go. So that's all ran through there. And now it's just sliding this through there and it's locked in. Boom. So what I just did was just slid the cable into here and that is bolted to there, which holds this on. So all that's left is to get a spring from here to anywhere, maybe to that hole over there. I'm gonna see if I have any, but I think we're gonna just need to go buy one of some sort, but it's going to work, I think. All right, so we're gonna finish up this e-brake installation. As you know, we got the cable done and all that's left was the spring, which didn't have one. So I went into the local hardware store, picked up something that kind of looked like it would work. They had lots of different springs, but this is similar to what the clutch spring looks like. Up there, it's actually identical in almost every way. So I think this will be just fine. It's got some nice loops and stuff. And if I look at the picture right, it goes on the opposite side of the lever and we're gonna find a place to put it. And I also grabbed a new nut and bolt. I didn't know what size the hole was, so I did go with a small one and a big one just so we could have options. But the nut and bolt I put in there are just some random ones I found. Cool, so we used the bigger one, but this is just some random bolt. I don't know what it is. These are grade 8, and since this is gonna be the e-brake, I don't want this bolt to snap or have any issues. And plus it's not sleeved. It doesn't have a collar like this one does, which you want. So we're gonna replace that bolt. Doing that actually first, because that way we don't put the spring on and have too much tension. So I'm gonna pull off this nut and bolt up here, show you. This one, it's just the mystery bolt that I put on, and this isn't locking, so this can just loosen up and fall out in time, but that's why you put the bolt down that way. So let's get this new grade 8 bolt with locking nylon in there with the sleeve, and it looks like it'll be a good, might be a little too long, but we also don't want to pinch this. We just want it to hold it, and I might put a washer on it just to give it a little more. There we go. And these are just the last little things left on this whole build. Yeah, I'm gonna get a washer. The shoulder of the bolt just comes out, and I don't want to not have it go. All right, luckily I keep a handful of random washers around just to space it down, but I think it's a lot better having that sleeve collar thing, because that's a pivot point and that's truly what you want. So let's get this tightened. There we go. Nice. Not too snug where it's pinching it. Still can move. Because if you go too tight, then it's not going to move. All right. Let's figure out where to put this spring at. Definitely went overkill on the length, but I wasn't sure on how I was going to set it up yet, so I got the longer one. And I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be just a spring up here. There's a little hole. Honestly, I might even just put this one on a clutch. I mean, just looking at the girth. Oh yeah, that one's broke. Yeah, I'm gonna put this one on our clutch, and we're gonna put this one because I can modify the length here a little easier on our e-brake, because that is, I realized, just hanging on by a thread. Yeah, that's definitely a better spring for that job for sure. So we'll leave that there, and let's get this older one wherever it went. I already lost it. No, I didn't. It's right here. You can see with this one, I'm gonna be able to bend it, and so we'll probably have it there. And then we're gonna need to probably go through this last hole way up in here, and I think I can just kind of feed it through and get an idea of how short I need it. Let's see. So that's there. You pull this tight-ish. So I'm gonna cut it down a little and then make a loop. There it goes. And then we're gonna put that in there again. Bend it just about there. And we're gonna bend a new hook in it, kind of like so. And put it through our hole. And then probably make it a little tighter. Yeah, we'll probably just tighten this one down a little bit too. So, there we go. I found these little hole here for the cross member. I think that's where our spring was at before. So now it sits in there, goes to our hole. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna jump up there, pull the e-brake, and see how far, see if that stretches, and see if it'll pull it back to return. I'm hoping there's just a little tension on it, so it should, and we should have our parking brake back. So I gotta get all this stuff out so I can lower the car, because I can't reach that. Okay, so I'm gonna just start by pulling it and seeing if it returns with that spring. It feels stiffer. Oh yeah, no, that feels good. Pulling it, and it comes back. Probably just throw some WD-40 on this. Shift the pull lever itself. But there we go. So pull, clicks in, it's as far as I go. Then if I turn it, it shoots back. I gotta push a little because I think, yeah, this just needs a little lubrication. But man, that is snug. So now that it's pulled, let's see if the wheels turn. And they kind of do. Not forward though. Whew. There we go. E-brake. And we'll look underneath. Spring is still there. Pull it out. Yeah. Probably go a little tighter with it, but that should work just fine. So that was a cool, easy fix with that new cable. And I mean, I didn't plan on using the spring that I got, but I think that's gonna work good. And I think that clutch is probably gonna be a little more stiff, which will be okay. So we're gonna spray right down in there. Oh yeah, now it's smoother. That clutch is gonna be a little stiffer, but I think that's gonna be a lot better and a lot thicker of a spring, because that other one looked like it might have been barely hanging on and then we'd be in trouble driving it. So I'm super happy with that. And again, that was all local hardware. You go in the hardware section and find those springs with that longer end. So then therefore you can adjust it and do whatever you need. but that worked out really well. Check it out one more time. Okay, so yeah, that spring is still sitting in there with just a little tension, which is perfect. Same with our clutch spring. And like I said, that is gonna hold up nicer. I'm not as worried about this one, especially since I cut off all that bad old bent up stuff, and probably just spray a little lubrication in there just to make sure everything moves. Whoa, stuck on me. Moves smoothly. Woo. We're going to squirt a little in there, I think. Oh wait, over here. Kind of just get it in all directions. Nice. All right, and that'll do it. The e-brake install with that new cable, which is so nice. Linkage done, running back, and it works. Some of these cables need a little more, but they will be fine. Cool. That will do it for the e-brake and or parking brake, because it's really not an e-brake, but anyways, done on that Ranchero. Okay, now that the wheel's off, we're gonna start digging into this thing, seeing what we could find. We do have our upper ball joint up here, these 3 bolts, nuts, and then down there we have a sway bar link that's gonna come off. Then also this like trailing arm that needs to come off. If it's bolted there, that's bolted there, and then up in there. So I'm not wanting to pull the hub all apart, but I think if we get this trailing arm off, this sway bar off, we can then pop out this U-joint and it'll drop, and we'll keep it suspended with the upper because it's at full droop, and then we can put that together because it's all under spring tension because of the design of this suspension is old school, where the spring is way up in there on top of the top mount, which is always interesting. But let's start with the bottom, getting all that unbolted because it will suspend itself and keep it there. Probably just start with our sway bar. That looks like the easiest to get to, and then we'll go from there. We're getting that nut off. Tap that down. Oh, that really hurt. Okay, that sway bar disconnected, and it fucking hurt my finger. Save that hammer for later. This is, I don't know what size, but let's find out. Is it a 9/16? No. And I don't have my impact, so that's fun. So we're doing it all by hand yet again. Now we're just spinning. Now is this the same size up here? You betcha it's not. Maybe it is, I don't know. 5/8 up top, 11/16 on the bottom. All right, I'm gonna work getting this off, and we'll see where we're at after that. Okay, we got that arm off, at least. Now we're gonna work on getting our cotter key out, and then our ball joint popped out. Hopefully. All right. Oh, geez. All right, now let's see if that's it. Yep. There we go. We're gonna loosen this up, and then I did not bring my extractor or anything, so we're just gonna give this some smacks, and hopefully it falls out. I have a feeling I'm going to be beating on this for a little while, so. Okay, yay. It came out. A lot of beating. I unbolted it from the frame to be able to kind of pull down on it. God. Like I said, this is probably the worst one. This is the worst one because there's only two. Okay, I had to beat the crap out of it. So this is super crunchy. It's actually, oh geez, look at this. There is, I would say nothing left of the ball joint, really. It's just destroyed in here. I've never seen one that bad. Like its pieces are falling off of it. Wow, that was just waiting to break. To be honest, that was gonna pop right out of there. I bet if I hit it hard enough, it would pop out. So yeah, that's getting replaced. This one up here, you could see their beautiful patch job back in the day, and that the bushing in here is well, it can come out almost. Anyways, that is complete garbage. We could not put that back in. We are replacing it, but they are in different size too. The holes look a little different as well. The lengths are the same. Gosh dang it. The parts for this have been hard to find. And now looking at it, these holes here and here are different space than there and there. Did they send me the wrong ones too? I don't know. Finding parts for this thing has not been as easy as I thought it was going to be. But there's just no reusing this entire control arm at all. Son of a gun. We're gonna have to make this work. And the first thing is that controlling arm bolts don't look to be the same distance as what's on there. This does fit in there, so that's good. So truthfully, I think I don't want to try to source this. I think I've been getting parts for like a V8 car, but really the only difference here is going to be our ball joint size. Which it's definitely too big, but we can hone that out. Ah, dang it. This is frustrating. I was hoping to have this done this week, be done with this whole project, but it's not looking like it's going to be that quick. And now I just want to get this little thing off. So this came off of the trailing arm. It's like a bump stop, but that's the same distance we need here. So yeah, it's just too small, but not by much. So we could probably just drill this out. I don't want to, but I don't think we have any option. We'll probably end up drilling out that front one. Hey guys, this sucks. Okay, well, there's not much I could do because obviously the other side is the same. I might, man, they didn't have any differences though. I'll look online and see if I can, I don't know. If I could drill that out, that won't be terrible. Close enough. honing it out is what's going to be the difficult part. Getting this hole bigger, significantly bigger. Okay, well, that's gonna do it for our suspension. I guess I'm just gonna leave it like this because I have no other option. So, kind of bummed out right now. Okay, well, I'm gonna go back and look at some stuff, see what I can do, see if we can make these work, because this is really all we got. Here we are, finishing up the last bit on the Ranchero, and it was a doozy. Okay, so I think I'd left off kind of showing that when I pulled the old control arm off, it was not matching with the one I bought. Also, the ball joint wasn't matching. Come to find out, the upper and lower ball joint were both not the right ones. Did a lot of research. The ball joints that were on this beautiful Ranchero are discontinued, and I can't find them anywhere. And I'll show you. This is it. A standard ball joint. I bet if I went through and really searched maybe some Mustang forms, some other things, I might get lucky. But I don't have time. I already bought all these ball joints that were for a Ranchero supposedly, so I make them work. And I don't think it's at all sketchy the way I did it, because if you want to look at these, this is what was driving on it. So I want to show you guys this ball joint. Here is that ball joint, and oh man, there is barely any metal left down here holding the ball in. It does need to move back and forth, but that is significantly gone. It is completely trashed. Also, don't forget, this one was welded. That is what was supposed to be in the subframe. Yeah, so this thing was garbage. We could have, this part was garbage. I'm not gonna try to fix that. Needed a whole new arm, but these arms don't exist. This exact arm, this size ball joint, the spacing on these holes, everything about it. Then we move to our upper ball joint, which was also getting roached, and I was not going to put this old one back in because it was also just worn out. There's big old grooves, and that's for greasing, but you could see this thing is crunchy. So I had to use with what I had. The ball joints I got were for a Ranchero. I triple checked part numbers and everything, and well, they just didn't match up. So since those other ones were discontinued or unavailable for who knows how long, I didn't see an issue modifying this upper control arm to fit the newer ball joints, because we'll probably never be able to find the old ones. So I took the ones I had and I modified this upper part. And I'll zoom in and show you kind of what I did. But also, I first want to compare the new and the old one. I forgot. Let's do that so you can get a good idea of how slightly off everything was. So when you're ordering them, they ask for a 4 or 3 bolt configuration. And I looked up in here and saw the 3 bolt. So I ordered the 3. Right off the bat, you could tell they're slightly bigger, but eyeballing it, the holes seem pretty close. But when you get them closer and closer together, kind of find out these ones are a lot wider spread out. And the ball joint itself is significantly, the shaft here is significantly bigger. And the last bit is this greasable area is super tall. So what the big issue was is this piece being taller and these bolts obviously not lining up. Now, with this being bigger, it actually worked in my advantage for a couple things, and I'll show you kind of what I mean. We could see here's the new ball joint. This was actually all metal because underneath would be where this sat. And since this was significantly taller, I had to cut off that top dome for this to slide through. Then got that situated. I figured out, and I actually used the ball joint sleeve cover thing as a template. So I took this and I laid it on top, and I got a rough idea where my holes are going to go, and I re-drilled new holes. Now, you're wondering, it's pushing it back a good ½ inch or so, but because this is bigger, you could see if this was in the same position where these holes were, where's that third try? Okay, like that, this is significantly higher, but if we bring it back, they actually line up in the same spot. So moving it back that ½ inch or so still kept the same geometry. I mean, this isn't exact math, but looking at it, looks like it's basically in the same position where it was when I took it out. It's just now modified slightly. So I re-drilled holes in this top one and bolted it down after cutting this out and making it this whole area fit up in here. And truthfully, I don't think this is as sketchy at all. I mean, the only other way would be to try to find the right ball joint. But really, we're doing the same thing. These are just holes drilled in. There's no other support there. It does push it back a little bit into there, but really it's still in the same location and everything, and I'm not concerned whatsoever. And if anything, in the future, now you could put these, I guess, bigger, heavier dutier ball joints in that would last longer and be better, more better. So top ball joint, didn't think that was an issue at all, but it was. And the only other issue we ran into when doing this is how I get the reamer. Now, this is the only thing I thought I had to do, was just ream out the knuckle to make it slightly bigger for these ball joints, but there was a lot more. Anyways, this is awesome. This took 2 seconds to cut into that knuckle and make it slightly bigger. Easy go, don't go too crazy with it. Make sure, you know, you get it nice snug, enough threads, everything's locked in. So there's that. That was useful because I also had to do the bottom. Now everything's very tight, which is awesome. So the bottom wasn't actually as big of a deal as I thought. So down here, I thought this was my only issue, is this ball joint didn't fit into here, and these holes didn't line up. So there's the 4 holes, because these are universal, left or right. This is shorter distance than it is on the new control arm. But this was easy. I bolted this side in, just drilled a new hole through here, and kind of just set it, and it was done. Then all I had to do was ream this out slightly more until this fit in nicely, and I got a good amount of threads through and kind of pushed down that boot. Bottom, honestly, not that bad, including, you know, putting the bolt up top there. So that wasn't, it was truly that I didn't think was this top one, and you can see now, getting a good shot of kind of how I did it, cutting out that, sliding it back in new holes. So that's the passenger side. Now, if this video, depending on where we do this, I'm gonna jump and just do the driver's side and show you guys the process and some of the drilling and the thinking I did. I just wanted to really focus on this and get it done right and not have to worry about recording and stuff. So we're gonna jump to the other side, and I'm gonna start actually kind of showing you the reamer, marking the holes and everything. All right, we're gonna spray some lubrication in here and constantly keep it lubricated, but and really there's no, I mean, there probably is something to this, but I just go until it fits. Keeping speed is important because I kept getting it caught on the last one, and it will move material quickly. So, especially since this is a new bit, so be very careful. It won't take much to eventually get this to work. Yeah, I definitely almost overdid the other one, but I stopped in time. And not keeping tension pushing either way. Because truthfully, yeah, it'd be better in like a drill press, in a machine, something. But we don't have that, and I'm not gonna be able to pull that apart. I want to, but so keep your drill nice and straight, up and down. Because yeah, that's will ruin your day. Continuously cleaning out all of the metal shavings so we don't get them in our ball joint, because this one, like I said, is different in the sense that you can't. Yeah, so that's about right where it'll be. We could throw our nut on. You saw how quick that was. Where did the nut go? You see how quickly that just takes that material right off? Not a whole lot to it. And then tighten this down. And are we close to a hole? I would say so. And it's not going to sit all the way down there. You can take off just a little bit more since the, come on, nut. You can kind of see where it's sat. So we don't have the ball joint all the way in yet. It's about halfway. And I want more of the shoulder in there and not as much as the threads. So we'll do one more couple seconds. More WD-40. And what I did was I push and then I stop and then I just let it run and kind of clean up inside of there. I don't know, there's really even a technique for this, but that sits a little nicer in there. Okay. And yeah, I mean, our nut is going to be, but I still think we'll be able to get the castle part of the castle nut. We'll get a cotter key in there, no problem. So definitely came a little lower, but I think because this is a bigger ball joint, everything doesn't quite line up with it. But I like that the shoulder is more seated and there's less threads. And that's the main goal, is to get more of this part inside here than, which we got most of it. I mean, it goes all the way up there. More in there than on the outside, because that's what it rides in. And that's what we want. So that side is done. I'm gonna put the cover back on so I don't get any debris in there. Now you can see that'll just smush our cover just nicely, actually. All right, one done. Now let's move to this bottom one, which we have to go from underneath. Big time. Do not accidentally put it in the wrong way. Drill out the wrong side. That could end up really bad. And last time we had this little opening for our brakes that I don't really want stuff in it. So there we go. We'll just shove some stuff in there. Need some more lubrication. Let's just check it real quick. I don't think that's gonna work, but this one was a pain because this is slightly bigger. This whole car has just some small little quirks that you have to figure it out. Okay. Not even close. It's stuck. Makes a big old mess. I wish I could take this ball joint out, but I can't. Make it easier for chest fitting. You can see we are not even. Oh wait, are we all the way through yet? Nope. This will definitely take a lot more out than the other one. This is the issue, is this little piece is so much bigger than the old one that I had to do a trick to get it in. Let's just do a little more. I don't like to do a little more, but I don't know if we have a choice. You can see it's kind of just pushed back a little. This isn't that straight. Obviously, there's no weight on it and the car's full droop, but this really shouldn't change up and down So this bar, we're going to, because there's barely any threads, we're going to tighten it and pull the whole assembly in. I'll show you the bolts. This is what I'm talking about. So you could see up here how many threads are sticking out. And now there's barely any. So this one is pushed way back, and this one's pulled really close. And I even had to pull that back. But this side, it's hard to tell, but it's definitely more, it's very centered. Once I replaced that really worn out arm, it really centered it up. So I think that was due to all that really worn out crap. So we're going to figure out what size those are, because there is a lock nut and a nut up there, but I'm going to adjust those now because, and this, and then I'll put the sway bar link in because it'll be a pain. And all that's left is I'm going to put that cotter key in right now so I don't forget it in the upper ball joint, because that's not going to be fun to forget. Okay, I cranked on that tie rod a little bit. Kind of got them even now, where I think it's a little play in there, but what's I feel like I look like a hot mess, and I feel like one. I probably look like one. For some reason the other side was easier, which I didn't film, so probably filming also didn't help. Whew, but there we go. Modified control arms to get in this Ranchero. Everything fits and is tight and works. So I'm going to start this up, and hopefully it starts. Going to go around the parking lot and the shop there, just do some circles, and park it and give it to the new owner. Not the owner, give it back to the owner, because I am done with Ranchero work. Whew. Let's hope it starts. We'll find out in a sec. We're in neutral. Stop battery. Let's see. Choke for a couple times. Oh yeah. Oh, she's good. Whoop, I can't get it. well, that is going to wrap things up for the Ranchero build. Not build. Let me go turn it off real quick. But it is running smoothly. So smooth, actually. Steering feels fine. Definitely going to go take it down the road and get a feel for it, but that is going to do it. That suspension kicked my butt, but the e-brake works. It is now sitting just on the parking brake, which is awesome. It starts and idles fantastic. I mean, it is super smooth. It started right up. I think this thing's going to be a great little daily driver for around town. Now that the ball joints, everything's fixed. Definitely have them go take it for an alignment because, I mean, I replaced a whole bunch of suspension stuff. It kind of tweaked the steering. And I don't want to wear out these tires. They are somewhat new. Anyways, and it's settled too. It was looking high when it was set down. Anyways, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching. And if you have any questions on the Ranchero, put them in the comments. I'm just now learning this body, this chassis, and yeah, and if you see anything I didn't do right throughout this whole series, let us know in the comments. I definitely take criticism, constructive criticism, well, because I only know so much. And if you like this, let me know. We'll bring it back because it does need more stuff. But for now, I got a lot done. And please tell people, like, subscribe. You know, we're almost to 1,000. When this video comes out, I don't know where we'll be at, but if we're just at 1,000, share. Every year I like to do this at the end, is work on someone's car that needs help, so they don't need help, but I want to help them and get it back on the road. So next year we'll do something again. I'm exhausted. I'm going to clean up, gonna park this bad boy, and we'll see you in the next one. Just go to be here.